It says under schedule.
There we go. Okay.
We're live.
Maximize it.
Let's see. Pushing the button.
Texas Steampunk Connection coming to you live from various parts of Texas in our bunkers and airships and whatnot. I am Flavio as usual, and with me as always is Thax, the gentleman adventurer, and Jack from Steam Chest. And we have Master Blue Stocking. Say hello, guys.
Hey.
So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk, most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for listening to the Texas Steampunk Connection.
Good evening, everybody. You've reached us again at the Texas Steampunk Connection, along with Jack and Blue Stocking and myself, Thax. We tonight have our special guest, Laura Meyer, back with us again to talk about a project she's working on and just hang out with us and have drinks and see what's happening in steampunk.
That's right.
Yay!
Laura, Canada's on fire.
Oh, and you're closer to it, aren't you?
And you are
pretty close. Yeah. We've got all sorts of air quality warnings for the last week or two.
Oh.
Are those blinds or is it that hazy outside?
Those are blinds, but
okay, just making sure.
It has been pretty hazy, yeah.
Oh no.
I ask because Blue Stocking was telling us
It smelled like Denton was on fire. Yeah. I don't think this because in times past, like with the California wildfires, we'd get the haze, not the smell. So something was happening in Denton today, and nobody knows what, but the whole town smelled like a campfire. And because I'm on the third floor of the library, I walked out of my office. And I'm like, why does the library smell like a campfire? And we went outside to the front, and yeah, it was. And I texted Matt because we're about 4 streets over from the library, and he could smell it too. But my hairdresser is on the other side of town, and she could smell it when she left her house. So there was a burn pit or something in town today.
Maybe someone lit a cattle lot on fire.
I mean, it's Denton. All sorts of weird stuff happens here. So I don't know, but it's gone now. It's fine now.
I looked for it in the news and didn't see anything. When I left the office tonight and looked out toward the Austin City view, it was hazy as heck. I thought, is it raining over there? But no rain, just really hazy.
It's also been really not rainy here, but where the water just kind of hangs in the air.
Moist.
Yeah, which we think is why the smoke smell was just kind of hanging around. Because there was just all this water which is why I had the headache, because it would rain. It was just kind of there. Everything was damp, but it wouldn't actually rain. But it finally rained a little bit, so yeah, it's fine now. I don't know. It was weird. It's like I said, it's Denton. It's a weird place.
Hey, shout to Lawrence and Rita who have tuned in. Thanks for joining us, you guys. You're awesome. Jack, have you seen any strange weather in the last day or two?
Yeah, I was driving back from the other side of Texas, or at least the west side of Texas, or what I would call west, what my wife would call central Texas, because being from El Paso, you have a different perspective on West Texas. We actually had a storm chase us home, and it was really cool. Double rainbows, lightning, everything. It was fantastic. Sitting there listening to all the greatest hits and for a car ride home. Everything like heavy metal,
road trip music.
Yeah, road trip music like Perfect Circle, Rob Zombie,
nice.
Savage Garden. We had I can't come up with the Only Happy When It Rains by
Garbage.
Yeah, Garbage. Things like that. Trying to give my kid the right appropriation for music.
Yeah.
I like Susie and the Banshees for a summer road trip.
Oh, Susie and the Banshee, yes. Ooh, dance to that at the Lizard Lounge.
I'll add that to
that's a throwback.
The list.
And also, Supernatural there's a playlist on Spotify, Supernatural Road Tune or Winchester Road Tunes.
Oh, I bet that is
all
good.
The classics. Yeah, all the
Pretty
classics.
The picture should just be them in the car. And it's just the camera just switches back and forth, and they're not actually talking. It's just them 3 seconds, and then it repeats the thing within 3 seconds, back and forth. Yeah,
just me and Matt singing at the top of our lungs when we're driving around Texas.
That's a road trip.
Yep.
Everybody has a drink.
Yes.
Yep.
But me.
Where's your weird beer?
He has to open it. He's got to be Mr. Per
Okay, let's save Thax
presenting
for
there.
last because he always has the best. Jack, what do you have tonight? Because it's
I have a very dark rum. It is
Very
beach bar
dark.
rum, product of Puerto Rico, so local. And it's called Redhead Macadamia Nut. So it tastes really good. If you're an amaretto fan, this would be right up your alley for drinking over rocks. I can imagine this being fantastic in like 7-Up for one, because there is a lot of flavor in this. So if you
Okay.
wanted something if you want to spread that flavor out a little bit, it would be fantastic.
Laura, what do you have tonight?
I have in my just one drink mug.
A mead, a cider.
Dang.
It's a Stella Artois cider.
It's so good.
Ooh.
DRE instead of a DER like a Dr. Dre.
That's how you know it's classy.
Mm-hmm. It's European style.
Yes.
And I was a little dubious, but actually in the realm of ciders that you find in general, it's a lot less sweet than the average. What is it? Wild State, I think Wild State Cidery or Wild State Cider is my preferred because they don't have any added sugar, and so you get a really dry cider, and I like that. But I was at a family reunion in Sheboygan, and so there were limited options.
Yeah, the Stella Artois is really good. Yeah, the DRE makes it classy. That's how you know it's good stuff.
Headphones.
I just-
Dre. Classy headphones.
I have my usual apothic, so we'll skip me and go on to
There might be new people.
The Apothic is a solid,
it's a.
affordable daily drinker.
I mean,
Do you want me to go back in the back room here and grab the Lambrusco? I can make you feel better.
I'm saying, when you reach a certain point, you've been in school for 11 years.
It's like, this is the one that does it.
No.
Yeah, you know what you need. You stick with it. All right, Thax, what weird beer do you have for us tonight?
Okay, well, I don't have a beer, but if you watched our show a month ago, 2 episodes ago,
That's the one I
showed
missed.
the one you missed, and I talked all about brewing in my bathtub.
With an oar.
Talked about brewing.
Were you
while
in your?
bathtub?
No,
Okay.
but I had
Gives
just
you that special
started.
flavor.
I just started a cranberry cider, and
Ooh.
it finished, and so I have brought that out.
And it's in the jug too. I like that. You need the
it's
label
a
with the X's
growler.
on there.
Homemade look right there. Guys, who wants to take a sip of the mystery?
He's so
jug?
steampunk. He's got the X's on his
They
jar.
get the X's on
Jug
it.
of Texas cider.
And as I mentioned at the time, it brews up to about 12 to 14%.
Ooh,
Damn, son.
later.
And
Completely illegal.
I mean, yeah, if you brew it at home, it's
it was a little too dry for me. I added some sugar, so not necessarily to your liking, but it's still like that cranberry gives it a really tart flavor. And so
Oh yeah, I can almost see you almost need extra sugar for that cranberry.
for the cranberry. Yeah, I've had unsweetened cranberry juice.
If it was
and that's-
apple or pear or something, I'd be like,
Yeah.
whatever.
it started with cranberry, grape, apple, and pear.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a cider, but it's got cranberry in it, and it's enough to make a difference. I wouldn't make like 100% cranberry.
No, that would turn your face inside out.
Yeah.
That's like bitter beer face guy. No.
I poured in the yeast, and they jumped back out. They didn't want it.
Hear a lot of
Nice. Help me! Help me!
So that's what I'm having tonight.
Excellent.
awesome.
And Lawrence has one of his usual.
Bellhaven, wee heavy. Yeah.
The wee heavy, as in like that's a lot there to that one.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
one of those you take a slice of.
yeah, that's like Irish traveling food.
Lawrence is a he's a slim,
He's a connoisseur.
well-shaped gentleman. As often as as he's getting that Bellhaven wee heavy, you'd think he'd be kind of,
Have a wheat belly
Nope.
like I do from like
Yeah.
light beer. I don't
Nope,
get
the
it.
man can wear a kilt. I'm just saying.
Oh,
It's the reason why they call it a stout, right?
I'm seriously right. And Rita has her sparkling water.
Ooh.
strawberry sparkling water.
Actually, I had a mango hard seltzer when I was getting my hair done. So it wasn't bad. I don't usually go for the hard seltzer, but
You know,
it was all right.
I'd probably get my hair cut done more often if I got booze to go.
My
from the
hairdresser, she's awesome, and she stocks. Yeah, usually stocks really good canned stuff in her little tiny refrigerator. So
Oh.
yeah, she's awesome.
Jack, there's a barber in Austin called Bird's Barber.
Mhm.
When you walk in, they hand you a beer.
What?
I'm just
That's like
saying,
the best sales
it's a,
point ever.
it's a great way to get your hair done. She
Okay,
gives me a she gives me a seltzer, and then she, does her magic, and it's
I think they say it as a good way to make the wait not feel so
Yeah.
long. So yeah,
I'll take it.
I'll let a lot slide with a beer in my hand.
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
coffee, take a nap,
Well, I mean, once they
After the
start
wait,
working
here's a
on
beer.
you,
Okay.
because mine does the head massage, and I'm like, yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, she's really good. She's got the fingernails, so yeah. There's a reason I go every 3 weeks.
Oh,
Well, and also because I got to get it shaved down. I can't
Yeah.
stand it when it grows in. So, All right, moving on. Now that we've talked about my hair.
Laura, you I hear have just put out a new Kickstarter for a new project,
Yeah.
and we need to hear all about it.
It's I consider it might be my most fun one so far. I mean, I love my book. I'm very invested in my book. It has a lot of me in it, but this is just super fun. So it's a deck of cards, samples,
Ooh.
and one of my little outfits on the outside.
That's the card I have hanging in my office.
It's a very nice one. It's one of my favorites. On the other side, let's see if I can get a non-shiny picture. Probably not. But 36 of the cards from 2 through 10 have fashion terms that are kind of like out of date or vintage or obscure or kind of naughty sounding. Anywhere from haberdashery to Piccadilly to farthingale, bum roll, muff, dicky, owning, all sorts of stuff. And so it's a deck that has the word, the definition, which you can almost kind of see here, and then very exciting, little black and white sketches on each card done by an artist friend of mine in Madison, Katie French. And it's almost a shame that they are done in or that I had to have them done in black and white, because she is like a genius with her color work. But they're very cute. They're a little Tim Burton-y, little Edward Gorey, and it's kind of a fun, sneaking some quirky learning at you, but also completely safe for work, even though you're going to be giggling along with other adults in the room. So it's a little whimsy, it's a little beautiful outfits, and it's a little bit of edutainment. Yeah. And of course, on the Jacks through the Aces, I'll have some old and some newer photo shoot images of my own designs, my thick designs. And so that's the most recent. I don't do Kickstarters for everything. I recently printed, after designing a memory card game where you have a whole bunch of matches and they're all face down, and you try to turn 2 over at a time and remember where they were. Once you remember 2 matches, then you take it and you try and get the most matches. So I did like a steampunk fashion memory game, and that is currently in shipping and is available as an add-on on this Kickstarter. But that I was actually able to swing the printing on my own, so I went and did that. And then by the end of the year, right around the end of the year, book 2 is the goal.
Oh,
Really?
Yes.
Dang.
I'm so excited.
Damn, you
I
are
know.
busy.
I am. But book 2 is the Halloween collection, costume and cosplay techniques.
Really?
So less focus on specifically sewing things that you would do to make costumes, and more focus on other types of things that you might do, fabric paint, armor and prop painting and weathering, wigs and headpieces. I will have some sewing stuff. I had some requests for like tailoring / menswear, and so I'll be spending some time on that because that was not really much of a focus in the last one. Lots of dresses. Although a lot of the sewing techniques in the first book could be used on menswear or suits and tailoring. But so lots of character and cosplay focused costumes in book 2. And so that's like a whole 2 rounds of photo shoots now.
Wow.
No.
Very exciting.
Even better. Can I tell you my secret sauce here?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Bring it.
The
This
planet.
is all about you.
Okay. In 4 of the okay, so you guys are familiar with the way I set up my chapters. It's a little bit of historical nerding out, a little bit of storytelling about the making of the outfit, and then I have like my tips and tricks of things that I learned and that would save you time and trouble if you knew about them, about 1 or 2 specific techniques that I had to learn or had to hone in order to make the outfit. And yeah, I'm a hand talker. So it's going to be very much the same format with a lot of different types of outfits. Everything from 7 of 9 from Star Trek to gender bent Obi-Wan to Jaime and Cersei Lannister to warrior of indeterminate origin, which is just I'm working on a Bo-Katan right now.
Wow. Okay.
And then embroidering with unusual or specifically beetle wings. I did a ball gown embroidered with that for last TeslaCon, so I'll be talking about some of the challenges with that. So lots of things, but okay, focus.
Bring it back around.
Bringing it back around.
Breathe.
The setup of each chapter is very similar, but I'm thinking 4 of the chapters, I am going to tap these wildly talented people that I know with these different skill sets and have them come in and do like an experts corner where they are talking about, like generally beginning to intermediate level, but from their perspective as having like scads of experience and talent in this particular skill set, what would they come in and give as their tips and experiences? And so I have 2 folks on board right now. I have Luke Wolfram with House of Wolfram, and Tim Harrison Designs. And I mean, it was hard to decide what he would do because his design company does so much. I think that's HDC Fabrication out of Chicago. But I think that's going to add a lot of value to the book.
Wow.
Wow.
A lot of legitimacy there, honestly, though. Like you're pulling in good names for that part.
Yeah. Processing all of this. So when is that one gonna?
I'm aiming for end of the year. I'm hoping to actually launch it at TeslaCon this year because that'll be right around like December 1st.
Okay.
Damn. For it, yeah.
Okay, so that one's going to be the end of the year. The playing cards, that has, 15 days to go?
Yep, we're right up the halfway point, and
Okay.
I believe we're at about 48% funded, so about halfway.
Yeah, it looks like you're about almost exactly halfway to go. So 15 more days. Need some more.
Need some movement.
Get some movement on that.
Yeah. And I think the thing is that I feel like this is a really universal one because it's got that the quirkiness and the aesthetic value, but also cards are just practical. Everybody likes to play games.
Everyone needs a deck of cards.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they're beautiful. Oh, they're so pretty.
But the hard part is that backing it at a physical level where you get a deck of cards is only half the monetary backer level of one book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not raising as much for the printing as I was for the book, of course, but it's still less average per pledge.
True. I would.
So ultimately, you just need to get higher numbers of people.
So we just need more people. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it feels like the cards would be more intensive as far as production than the book itself. I mean, I don't know. It feels like instead of a bound book, doing the cards would have more labor involved. But
No, I think they just print them in a sheet.
do they?
They just
Oh, well, never mind.
They charge you more if you want rounded corners.
Okay.
So I'm guessing they cut it out, and then if you want rounded corners, that's additional.
Interesting.
I made my camera freak out.
it's additional blurry. Yeah. Oh.
It's doing the best it can.
The illustrations are beautiful, though. At least what you've got posted on here.
I'm really loving them.
I like the lady in her muff. I'm trying to not giggle like a child about that one.
If your kids get it, it's not our fault.
Well, I mean, Little House on the Prairie, Laura. There's a whole thing about Laura and her friend who has and which I didn't know when I was 13, and then when I was 17, I'm like,
I even learned things doing this one. Like there's a phrase, frills and furbelows, and it's spelled like FURBELOWS, like frills and furbelows. That is just a term for all of the undergarments underneath your outer clothing.
Yep. Again, like, Little House on the Prairie. That's how I knew that from the books.
Furbelows.
Yep. All the furbelows. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great word.
They had some wild stuff going on back then when she cut her hair and she wanted bangs, and it was called the lunatic fringe.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, that was the big thing. I guess when she was a teenager, so the 1880s, and it was she wanted the lunatic fringe. Yeah,
the reason for that is because
bangs.
When women
Literally
went into
just bangs.
in the asylums,
yeah,
shave their head,
get the hair out of their face or something.
Yeah, well, she would use her slate pencil to curl.
Yeah.
So
it happens after a couple weeks after shaving your entire head, as you get that weird kind of like.
That's okay. That's where it's from. I never thought about where it was from. I just figured they were making fun of young girls as they,
young girls
historically making fun of teenage girls and their styles, But I didn't think about where it was from. Yeah. So, there you go.
I also learned that spatter dashes are like just about knee-length leg coverings to protect your pants from the mud. And then later, they were kind of shortened, and the name was also shortened to spats.
Spats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, similar to the things that the arm covers that they would wear over their shirts to protect from ink spatters. Yeah. Yep.
Huh.
And Johnny Steverson wants you to make him a Star Trek steampunk costume. So.
Well, he needs one. Somebody needs to make it.
Laura, he needs one.
He needs a 7 of 9 outfit for sure.
I kind of mashed up my 7 of 9 latex accessories and whatnot with my blue steampunk dress one year. That was fun.
Is there a picture of that?
Somewhere. I'm sure I can find it. But just to kind of mishmash up, I was thinking if I go to New York Comic Con, because Katie, who plays Bo-Katan in The Mandalorian,
Katie Sackhoff.
Sackhoff,
Yeah,
is going to be at New York Comic Con, and if I finish the costume and go to New York Comic Con, I mean, there's a lot of ifs here, but the plan is if I do that, what I'm going to do is get that Battlestar Galactica tank, and I'm going to just like.
Are you going to go Starbuck?
Gonna go like half like Mandalorian suit, half off, and then underneath is the BSG.
Nice.
Like,
oh no,
You got me. You hit my two favorite things.
Yeah. Oh, she's so good. Well, and I've been rewatching The Flash, and she was on season 4 of The Flash. Yeah, she was Amanita Black. She had a British accent. She was a black marketeer. She was awesome. She was so good. She was like evil Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katie Stackhoff as evil Mary Poppins. I'll watch that. Make that happen.
Hey, kitty.
Hey, kitty.
Right. So that's the plan for kind of like taking you through the end of the year.
That's
wow,
a lot.
It's pretty busy. Yeah. And is this? I read that you've moved away from teaching. This is like your full-time shtick now. Is that correct?
Pretty much. I have taken a part-time job doing some writing for a company in California. California. There we go. That does supported living services for people with varying levels of disabilities. And so I do a lot of report writing and updates and stuff like that, which helps take some of the stress off when people aren't buying, my book or underbed restraint systems. But, oh yeah.
Really?
I make a lot of stuff.
Okay, so
I'm intrigued. We'll have to have another episode.
I was gonna say there's.
I have a line of products that I've carried.
Need to unpack that
in Milwaukee. It's a female-owned adult boutique.
Okay.
And yeah, they've carried my stuff for like 14 years or something crazy now. But I always have to be very specific when I'm applying to different conventions that they get the correct product line. I'm like, yes, I'm bringing my book and greeting cards and memory game.
Yes.
Not the underbed restraint system.
Just hide that bit.
Well, different resumes for different things. So
I mean, there's probably a convention or two where all of that could go together. Just
probably. There is something for everyone. There is a lid for every pot.
You're like, let me bring out the special goods.
I think you've seen all of this. Let me throw out the fun stuff. The other fun stuff.
I think there's probably more conventions that check all those boxes than we'd like to admit.
I've been to a few of them, yeah.
The last SpicyCon I was vending at, I sold 10 books.
Whew.
There's a lot of overlap as far as if you can't find what you want, you're like, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, I think Dragon Con would have like everything. Dragon Con is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could
everything. Yeah,
you could circle everything. Didn't Flavio go to Dragon Con once?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, because he met Clockwork Cabaret, the girls from Clockwork. Yeah, Dragon Con kind of pulls in everything, so you might find a market there. You might consider.
Well, it's Atlanta,
I mean, it's Atlanta, and it's in. When is it?
I don't know, like
August or September. Yeah.
It's very expensive to vend there.
Oh, is it?
Because it's so big. They can
true. Yeah.
Command quite the price.
Well, and they have the 2 tracks. They have the regular track and they have the alternate history track. So, yeah, I always wanted to go, but it's really expensive. So, yeah.
One day.
Someday.
It's on the list, definitely.
We'll just roll in with a camera crew and us 3 with like a microphone.
Texas Steampunk connection on the road.
Yeah. So they're like fighting over the microphone.
Like, hey there, what are you drinking?
Yeah, exactly.
If we do it next year.
My head in character. That seems to be the TikTok thing right now.
Yes. I will be done and I will have time. We need to plan this. Because I will be a doctor by then. See?
It's Dr. Blue Stocking. See, now
Dr. Blue Stocking and her companions.
Come talk to the doctor. And everyone be like, ooh. And then be like, oh, it's Dr. Blue Stocking.
And her assistants.
She would like to ask
My
us-
handsome assistants.
Oh, you know some other guys?
Oh no!
Oh.
Stop calling it Dumb and Dumber, Thax. We'll find two guys at that last town right over there.
No, my guys. So yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be looking into the cards. I like those.
Yeah, let me
Yeah, the
Oh, yes.
link
Plug it
there
in.
yep, we got the
Um,
link.
on Kickstarter.
And side note, that is not with ice cream. Antique de la Mode is not with ice cream.
Really? Now you've broken my heart.
That's a la mode, isn't it?
Bless you.
Yes, it's all about.
But a la mode is also of the day.
Yeah.
So it'd be like,
Exactly.
'cause I was thinking, I'm like, isn't it like soup a la mode or soup? No, it's
Soup du jour.
But
Du jour.
there's of the fashion and of the style.
Mode is of the fashion or the style.
Mode is
Yeah.
of the fashion, of the style, and so a la mode and de la mode are very similar, but we're just used to seeing a la mode as like with ice cream.
With ice cream.
But it's like of the style, and so I'm glad I looked it up because my French is almost certainly worse than yours. I was very close to calling it like fashions de la mode. And I'm like,
That's.
fashions of the fashions.
I was gonna say that's redundant. You don't.
Fashion.
wanna-
So American.
That's like saying ATM machine. You don't. Yeah.
Which we do constantly. So what's the problem?
Yes, and PIN number.
No one calls
Yes,
it
it
an
makes me
ATM
insane.
machine.
Yeah.
Yes, people do, and it makes me crazy.
Black noir.
No,
Just
Chai
please-
tea.
chai tea. Yes.
It'll be fine. Mhm.
No.
There's a place in Britain that is actually named Hill 3 times in 3 different languages because every time the next conquering race or conquering group came in, they just called it the Hill. And so it's like it's got this cool sounding ish name, but it's each word means the
This
hill.
means the hill. Yeah.
So it's the hill of the hill of the hill.
Hill, the hill. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've been to a place in England that had a street called Steep Hill. Its street is so steep that it literally has its own Wikipedia entry. When I went for that steampunk convention, Helen at Dr. Esser was like, "No, you don't understand. The street is really steep." I'm like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you going on about this?" No, it
It's
was
a steep hill.
some smartass literally created a store halfway up called Base Camp or something like that, where you could stop for tea and yeah, because it was,
Smart.
and it's cobbled. That's the other thing. It's a cobbled. Yeah, and it's like straight up. Yeah.
No, you just don't go when it's raining.
No. It
You
was.
illusion when it's raining though.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wearing granny boots going up. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So sometimes it helps to have a very specific
Just
place name.
Rita's
Yeah.
over here posting the links and the
Yes,
information
thank
for
you,
finding us
Rita.
late. Finding
Yes.
what we're talking about later.
It's literally Steep Hill, and it's in Lincoln, and it is bonkers.
Haven't I seen this joke somewhere about how the constellation, one of the Ursa constellations, it's the Latin name and the Greek name for bear. So translated,
Ursa.
the name for the constellation is Bear.
I
Well,
would,
there's
that would
Ursa
make sense.
Major and Ursa Minor,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
I know. I've heard
like
what you're
I've seen
talking
this somewhere,
about.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's one of them. I'll have to
Bear
look that up. Bear. It's the Bear constellation.
that's cute.
Seriously, bear.
Rita's got all the links today.
Wow.
She's bringing us the knowledge.
Torpenhow Hill. Hill.
Oh, yeah, Ursa is bear. So
Yeah.
one's a bear and one's a little bear.
All right.
All right.
So
Who's
what
that?
else have we got to show tonight?
I have
Anybody
no-
homework?
I have no homework unless you want me to talk about Animal Crossing and my Steampunk Island again.
Is that coming along?
Yes, it is coming along very well, but the lunar rover that you asked me about in the last video that I made you watch, that is really hard to get. It's going to be
At some point.
yes, it's a pain in my yes. So yes, that is what I've been doing. I'm sorry. I've
You're
been trying
fine.
to write my dissertation. which is not going well.
And then go play Animal Crossing. No, I get
That's
you.
fair. Yeah.
It's because I don't have to think. It like zeroes out. It like zeroes everything out, so I don't have to. I listen to an audiobook and I play Animal Crossing, and I don't have to think about anything intellectual at all. I just lay on my back on my beautiful couch and play Animal Crossing.
You know, I did tack summer semester on to finish my master's in the general time frame that I was aiming for. Yeah.
Once and the problem is I've been in school for 11 years where there's been due dates. It's not like that when you hit your dissertation. You make your own due dates at this point because you're supposed to be a grown-up who can do this. So at this point, I'm probably not going to graduate until May. So me and the other another member of my cohort who is also doing a non-traditional, she's doing women's travel photography from the interwar period as a website.
Mm-hmm.
So she is pushing back probably to May as well. We both decided to not do regular written dissertations, and we're finding out what that's like. So.
It ends up being more exactly what you want it to be than good in a way.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome when it's done, but it's going to take a while. So that's mostly what I've been focused on. I will be an effective co-host, I promise.
That's why there's 3 of us.
I know.
Yeah, I procrastinate too.
It's weird when you hit this point because there's no due dates. It's how I, it's you write it or you don't, but it's up to you. And that's really weird. For someone with ADHD who has functioned on structure for 11 years, that's weird.
Yeah, structure. And then absolutely no structure. You've been doing this the whole time. You just finish up. You're good. Basically, you're just
congratulations.
All those cobwebs out, piling all your papers up in your brain from all your college, stacking them.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I need the montage. I need the montage of me typing on my computer, and I fall asleep when my glasses are a little crooked, and then I'm getting hooded, and then I'm dancing in my graduation party.
See, we can do that.
I need the montage.
We can do the montage for you. I have the editing ability.
I need the 80s power ballad.
Got that.
And a couple of shots of late night burning candles at both ends.
Exactly. And I'm kind of, but it's
energy drink.
Yeah, TV lied to me. Writing a dissertation is not sexy or exciting.
No.
What TV told you that?
Although I do understand now people getting irritated about the question, are you done with your No, I'm not.
Only yet begun.
Yeah. So,
for season 3 here soon.
An advanced degree doesn't ask that shit.
No.
Of dissertations, if you want to lay it down, of the people writing dissertations, yours is kind of sexier and more exciting than most.
Because it's a podcast?
Yeah.
Because it's me saying y'all 25 million times in a 30-minute episode. But you each have voices Texas, on there, and it's very exciting.
I was going to say thank you for giving the opportunity to do that.
Thank you for doing it.
Well,
I'm going to call on you again.
Trying to convince myself that I don't hate my voice, and maybe I could do like a audio version of my book myself. And it was really nice, recording that for you and then like listening to it back. I'm like, yeah, I sound dynamic.
You sound great. I have there's a couple of y'all that have done you and actually Selena, the other woman who's doing her dissertation with me. She's the one that gets is chewing the scenery. She's like very dramatic in hers. Yeah. So some of y'all have just not.
I'm sorry, I wasn't as dramatic as you wanted me to be. I didn't want to go over the top. I didn't realize that's what you wanted.
I recorded it twice, and then I'm like, that one.
Well, and but the whole point of doing this with y'all and having y'all do your voices is that to show that anybody can do this. Anybody can do their dissertation this way and bring their friends into it and the people that they love. It's accessible. What, Zax? Why are you laughing at me?
I did mine 4 times and sent you the 2 I liked.
Yours were excellent. I love yours. I send yours out as yours and Selena's. I send out as examples because they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, you didn't hear the poopy ones.
No, but I'm gonna ask all of y'all if you still have those that you didn't send. I'm gonna do an outtakes episode after all of this is done. At the end of all this, that includes
we gotta have the have the blooper reel.
That includes all the shit talking from my advisors that I have recorded,
Oh, that
and
sounds good.
yes,
Oh,
everything else. So
Post
everybody
that one after they've handed you the piece of paper.
exactly, yeah. Once I am Dr. Elizabeth Hedrick, yes, no. Well, actually, my committee chair, she's like, "You need to do a blooper reel." I'm like, "I'm going to."
Were you recording her when she told you that?
Yes, yeah. No, that
You open
recorder
it
is
up.
on for all meetings.
You need
My
to do
little
a blooper
recorder.
reel.
Because sometimes she'll go, "Wait, are you recording this?" Yes, yes, I am. So yeah,
Like, this is my dissertation. I'm taking it seriously.
You just wear a hat that has the recording logo with the red dot on it.
I need to do that. Yeah,
Every time you're around them.
if I'm at Harvest House, that recorder's probably on.
Buy a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, I am recording.
You will be recorded, and then no one will talk to me.
Oh,
All right, so who brought homework? Enough about my dissertation.
I brought some homework, but it's more of like an actual conversation.
Oh.
So, it'll take a little time. So I don't know if Thax has something he wants to talk about first, or if he wants to save it till next time.
I have this dog.
By the way, is that an? I'm not familiar with
What?
this.
That's
this
a new
pupper
one.
Face. Yes, that is
It's a new
adorable.
one.
Looks like a puppers.
I know.
A week ago, Saturday,
Oh my goodness.
Erica opened the front door and found this thing lying under the tree in our front yard.
Oh my god.
And
Seriously?
it immediately jumped up and ran away.
Yep.
And
All good love stories right there.
and she went back in the house and said, "Dax, put your shoes on. We got to go get a dog." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I've done
Okay.
that too.
So, what's the
we
puppy's
chased her
name?
around for a while. I don't know.
You haven't named her yet? It's been
I've
She's
thrown a
yours.
few names at her.
Person.
I thought she's sort of a wiener dog, sort of a Dachshund, and wieners, hot dogs a sandwich, but she's kind of toasted, so I called her Panini.
Yes. I love it.
That's great.
But she doesn't respond to that.
Yet.
Oh,
Um,
yet.
One day, Erica called her Splooty, and she immediately was like, "What?" So I guess her name is Splooty.
How old is
Rudy
she?
the Panini.
Do you know how old she is? You haven't had her checked out or
I haven't had her to a vet except to check for a microchip, and she doesn't have one.
okay.
I'm guessing she's under 6 months.
Oh, okay.
She's real young. She's not potty
Oh.
trained.
Oh.
Life in this house has become much more difficult.
She got you on your toes. Oh no.
Eight out of
Are
the
you gonna
last
keep
week.
her?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Erica's found somebody who was got another puppy and is looking for a friend, and they seem like they might be a good fit. We're gonna probably reach out and meet them if the owners don't show up soon. But we put out posters
Okay.
and we posted online, and if any of you think, "Oh, that dog looks really familiar," please send me a text.
I mean, that's a long way for her to run. Oh.
We've had, it seems like people are dumping dogs near our house and in the golf course that's not a mile down the road from us. I've seen like multiple posts and a news article about dogs being found in the golf course. So I don't know quite what's going on.
I mean, I know during the pandemic, a lot of people got pets that they ended up, but that was like that
That's over,
backlash happened. Yeah, like at least a year ago. It's not usually still happening now.
Yeah, it's a little
late for that, but
that's what I see happening right now.
Aw.
So that's That's not really my show and tell, but that's what I got.
She's cute though.
She's
Her
adorable.
colors is her chest all white and she's all gray.
She's got a white chest. She's got a little white stripe down the back of her neck.
Aww.
And other than that, she's just a little redhead.
Oh, I wish I could take a dog, but Brax would. My redhead would not put up with that. He does not like dogs. No, when we got him, his face was all banged up and bruised, and with the way he reacts when he hears a dog, we're pretty sure he got into a scrap before the shelter took him. So yeah, we can't do that. No. So, is she squeaking? Is that what I hear?
She is fighting with Sunny over a toy. They do it all day long.
I know.
They have so much fun.
Okay, Jack, what exactly is what are you bringing and how long is this going to take us?
Oh, it would take longer than what we've got, but here's kind of the thing on it. I sat down and I really kind of had a lot of time in the car to think about this, driving through rainstorms and all that fun stuff, and came up with this kind of like idea of what in steampunk is like important. Like when I say steampunk, what are the three things that pop up in your head? Usually it's like goggles, hats, and airships are like classic three that are big.
Alternate history.
I mean, well, yeah, but
music.
Symbolism is.
Oh, the symbolism, gears.
When you say, "Oh, something is steampunk," you're like, "Well, does it have gears, top hats, goggles, and airships?" I'm not interested if none of that's in there. You know, that's
brown.
Kind of yeah, and so just kind of like thinking about it, going. And lately, I've seen some shows where the airships were not as cool as they could have been if people like sat down and thought about it a little bit. And
yeah,
I hate to say this about Carnival Row, but I was really unimpressed with their airships.
Oh, I haven't finished it.
And
that you reminded me. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like a scene where the pact, the kind of the Russian / Bolshevik Revolution people have their airships, and they call them dreadnoughts. And so when they mentioned that, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool to see one. Oh, hi! Wow, all over the place.
The juggernaut of the airship, right?
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
And it looks like maybe a bomber from World War I's gondola kind of thing. And then they like just dump like they these little boards. They're sliding bombs over the side, and they got like maybe a machine gun. I'm like, this.
Make it sound so cute.
It is adorable. Like, but they look fairly looming. But then you get up there, and there's like three dudes, and you're like, this isn't a dreadnought of anything.
So they didn't put a lot of work into it.
I'm like. And of course, I know it's CG from the people on the ground, so you have like Orlando Bloom and everyone like, oh, there's something up there, and then I started really looking at it from just the technological perspective, which really kind of gets me. Is like, well, the Berg or Britain in this case,
yeah,
doesn't have anything but small arms that would lift at a capacity to fire at that angle, and they know they have these things, so it's like because they're the Pact has been their enemy for what a while now. And that's the technology that they have, and the Berg has like colonialism weaponry. Like it's big. It's like steam. It's the technology over here hasn't gotten to any type of fantastical enough to deal with like the airship thing, because they don't have cannons they can lift up like that. They have Gatling guns now, which is becoming a thing. But there's a disparity there in the technology that kind of made me start like realizing that either the Pact could have taken advantage of that if they could build a big enough airship to carry any amount of ordnance, or they did something wrong because there's something that should be able to repel them enough to keep them from just flying over Britain and bombing them. And it really got me thinking about what airships mean in a fantasy setting. It's kind of like Star Wars has the Star Destroyer. When it shows up, everyone has immediate reactions to it, emotional and logical and illogical, and like, the militaries know what to like. Oh crap! Here's this thing we got to deal with. People are scared of it because it's this monolith that has a lot of there's a lot. It's impactful to the story. It shows up and suddenly everyone starts freaking out. So, but when these airships showed up on the screen, I'm just like, oh, those are dirty looking. That's about it. They're not. They didn't have any major reaction. Like they kind of have a hooky front on them, like a bird. But other than that, like first off, nothing that struck any type of emotion into me about being afraid of them.
Yeah, let alone dread.
And or like, how did they build them? Like the infrastructure and taking into building an airship, it really shows a lot about your society. So if you have the ability to build these ships of the line in the air that are, brass plated and gold plated and painted, and they all look like, Great Britain in the air, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of industry that builds up to that, and there's a lot of money invested and time invested.
And that technology should be reflected on the ground in your society as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that also actually, something that I was looking up today that you made me think of, let me ask you this, because there's a thing called the point of minimal departure when it comes to things like this, impossible things that we don't see in the real world.
Yeah.
Where the point where it's a real enough that you can believe in it, even if it's impossible or not real. Or suspension of disbelief. But yeah, point of minimal departure. So you're saying that even though this couldn't happen, it's still not believable enough for you to buy into.
Almost hitting that moment of like, we either need to like readjust the person's perspective that's watching, the reader or the viewer's perspective of physics in the world what they're watching. Like, if I'm watching something that's got very whimsical looking airships in it where it couldn't possibly follow the same kind of, laws of nature here, then you got to explain that through the fact that this is a dream or nightmare reality, or where whimsy works better. But then you got to be consistent in your inconsistency of how those physics work. So if a magic whale can pop out of the water and start flying because of whatever in the water, then it kind of makes sense that someone's taking advantage of whatever that stuff is in the water in some sort of technology or magic or something.
The physics need to make sense.
Yeah.
Even if they don't make sense to our world, they need to make sense to that fantastic world.
Especially if the world that they've created has previously adhered very stringently to their own laws that are close to realistic laws.
Yeah. Yes. If you're going to create a world that has its own physics, you need to follow
along because these people live there.
Or explain why not.
If water flows uphill to them, that's going to be normal.
Yeah.
And you got to like impart that knowledge onto the reader if it's from the perspective of someone who lives there. Like, oh, that's completely normal,
Yeah, the rules have to matter.
The sky and it later comes down over there, or we never know where it goes, But so that's kind of my thinking on like airships, of kind of being the easy in and out for calling something steampunk. Is like, oh, just throw an airship in it, and it's this clumsy thing that doesn't fit the world in which it was imparted. And some of that can be for the fact that you do have a crazy inventor, or the hero ship mentality of like the Millennium Falcon, where it's a cobbled together thing that reflects the nature and character of who built it to do a certain job, which is completely fine, because you can have cobbled together things that are very unique and still fit the world.
But you have to invest in story to establish those things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, it just looks like you're breaking your rules.
Yes.
And the watcher or the observer won't be invested.
Exactly. Yeah. It's got to make sense.
Yeah. I know this is kind of funny, but I watched Disenchantment, and they have that like whole steampunk city, and it weirdly worked for the sake that it was being sarcastic about itself, and the fact that in its world, all this steampunk stuff was completely viable.
Yeah.
And it never went over. It was like you had some weird crap going on in the background all the time, but that was because that was the steampunk city.
Yeah.
And it worked in that perspective. But then you have like Shadow and Bone, where they have this cool boat, and they're just like, oh, but watch this, and they have two, come up with it, the air. Kind of use Avatar mentality for that, but two airbenders throw an air up into these very small little like umbrella shaped things to haul this whole boat out of the water and fly it like miles, 10,000 feet, and if one of those airbenders has to sneeze, this whole thing's over, and
the whole thing comes down.
The whole thing comes out. There's just not enough air getting caught for that to work. Like this is a tiny little it was the back sail of a boat, the one that helps get the boat turn. It's not even like the actual any type of major sailing vessel amount of mast. Now if it was like half a like an actual like tall mast with like 3 or 4 on it. I've been like, okay, maybe, sure, but it just felt so.
No,
cheesy.
you're right, that because Matt brought up whimsical physics is okay if that's part of the world, like he said, like Baron Munchausen. Whimsical physics that change is okay if you know that that's part of. But if the world is set in a certain way, and then all of a sudden
we're going to have this happen so that it can work,
but we're not going to explain it why it's worked, then that, because our brains can accept a lot. Suspension of disbelief is a big part of who we are, but we have to be able to understand.
Yeah.
No matter how whacked out the world is, we have to be able to understand.
And if someone takes
it's
the advantage of sitting down, or takes the time to sit down as a writer and be like, all right, so if there was this massive black wall thrown up and we're having to protect boats or skiffs that are being blown through this massive dark wall with all these evil things in there, why are we using boat hulls with nothing on top? Like, why isn't there even like some sort of like grate or like framework so that when the evil gargoyle things fly down, they can't just like grab people off the deck?
Yeah.
Like there are certain things I understand that are theatrical for the moment, but then have it to where you see change.
Yeah.
When people are like, well, that's a problem. We need to like put some guardrails up or something in Star Wars, even so people stop falling over the edge. Everyone's falling over the edge in Star Wars.
But I mean, even because like the one book series that I'm doing, the Invisible Library series, it's a library that has no end. It's literally an infinite library, and there are things that happen, and they have magic and a language. But there is a dude that is so far outside of that they can't even explain. And she says that he is so far outside of what is normal for the librarians in this book that they can't even explain him. But she says that. She literally says he is outside the physics of this world. This man has done so many things to himself that he is literally a hole in the world, and they can't explain him. But she
that's cute. It's like it's Harold. We don't mess with him.
Yeah, but we bring it up that this is not normal for this world.
Just put a plaque up on his wall over there saying, "Just don't mess with the interdimensional being," and move on. So so the new people come by and they're just like, "Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I'll leave." So I don't know. That was my thing. I actually got kind of, I don't know, weirdly angry today about it and wrote more.
I do too.
And this is important because airships hold like a culture, hold significant multifaceted roles in their
and
setting.
And it's hard to ride an airship that makes sense to us as far as Sax, you are dying down there.
I had these conversations with Flavio all the time. Not about airships, but he was into comic books and superheroes and superhero stories, and I always complained that those stories don't make any sense. Like the superhero powers and their ignoring of physics and the abilities that they have, it all falls apart if you think too much about it.
Yeah.
And his response to me was, "Max, you don't like anything."
It makes sense within the world or it should make sense within the world that it's taking place. But if the author can't do that, then or the writers then there's that's a problem. I mean, I'll buy superhero narratives all day. I love me a superhero, but
it's one of those things of when you go on YouTube and you look up honest trailers, and you watch like just like someone broke all the they brought the reel in on them, and you're like, oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. Suspension of disbelief. I'm very good at it, but even I have my breaking point where I'm like, no, there's a problem.
Just like that.
Yeah. Whose puppy is that? Yours?
That was the puppy.
That's what's her name? Splooty?
Yeah, that's Splooty. She's loud.
Apparently, she's got a lot to say. Oh. And you brought us to 9:00, Jack.
Yeah.
This is a conversation that we need to continue because
we can continue this next time because I have.
Did y'all just have a weather thing go off?
No, it's the Amber Alert.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Take to the streets. Lost
Princeton,
child.
Lost child. Let's go.
Princeton, Texas. I don't even know where that is. Okay. Yeah, no, this is a conference because this is actually part of what my dissertation is about. So we're going to continue that conversation.
We'll continue this next time, and I'll angrily write some more so we have something to go on. I'll be like, and furthermore, here too hints with.
Okay, let me take some time to talk about our patrons who are keeping the lights on. Everybody, Texas Steampunk Connection is supported in part by J.R. Seegers, A School for the Great Game. Edwardian teen Elizabeth Bancroft resents being sent to a finishing school in India. The college is, in fact, the British India's School for Spies, teaching the family business of espionage, martial arts, and the Tibetan mystic arts. The School for the Great Game is the first in the Steampunk Garage series, available on Amazon. We are also supported by Fair Treasures. Fair Treasures is a selection of Texas-made female-presenting costumes and accessories for steampunk and Renaissance wear, and one-of-a-kind imported jewelry. You can shop Fair Treasures at fairtreasures.com. It's fair with an E, or on Etsy. We also have patrons on Patreon, including Jenny and Ryan Shaver, and a generous grant from Rita and Lawrence Allen. We invite you, of course, to become patrons yourselves for any amount you are able to put in, and it helps us, pay the bills to host this and get more recordings and all that sort of thing. So thank you, everyone, for supporting us. I'd like to thank Laura Meyer for coming on our show again today.
Thank you very much. And if I may,
of course,
just under 24 hours, if anyone backs the campaign before 6 p.m. tomorrow, Central Time, they will get a set of playing dice, like 6-sided dice, along with the card game.
Challenge accepted.
Game on. I know. It's a early bird bonus.
Whoa. Excellent.
Get a deck of cards and some playing dice with Laura Mayer's new Antiques de la Mode. Did I get that right?
Antique de la Mode.
Yep.
Playing cards and education.
That's right.
All sorts of words that sound dirty. May not be.
Go get your dirty word cards.
Learn yourself some clean, dirty words.
There you go.
Strap on your dickie. Let's get busy.
Did not.
Anybody have anything else to add before we
I can't follow that up.
No? Nothing?
I guess Thax needs to mind his gauges now. Stop shaking that sassy brass.
People need spatter dashes.
Holy haberdasheries. Batman.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So, once again, thank you for listening. You can find us again on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection for any comments, questions, suggestions. If you know of something happening steampunk that's happening soon, we can put it on our calendar, on our Patreon, as well as the list of over 100 comics and graphic novels, steampunk and Weird West related.
You can also email us at texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. And we're a streaming podcast, texassteampunkconnection.podbean.com.
And if you lose it on Facebook and you want to watch a rerun of this show at any point in time on YouTube, you can go find them on Steam Chest.
And although we've made many, many jokes about Twitter, you can look for us at TX Steam Connect 1 on Twitter.
I never use it. I never look at it. I don't know. I don't understand Twitter. Yeah, so once again, thank you very much. And until next time, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.